welcome back. So today I'm doing a video on the new Urban Decay Naked Honey palette. Now Urban Decay did send this to me and I have all the information on it. I also did a look on my eyes using the palette, so if you're interested in seeing a look with it, then hang tight till the end. I will post the look at the end. But I really, I don't know, I'm like a sucker for these neutral palettes. I really am, I'm not gonna lie. So this is the outer carton of the palette, and this time it came in, they went back to, I know they did the Reloaded in a sort of soft cover palette, but they went back to these hardcover palettes or casings for this one, and it's like a raised naked Urban Decay Honey. So I really do like the packaging on this palette. And then inside you're gonna get 12 new shades and a brush. So it's like a dual-ended brush with it. This palette launches September 13th in store at Urban Decay and in Sephora, and on September 23rd it launches Ulta online, Macy's online, Nordstrom online, and Belk online, and then September 26th it's in store at Ulta, Macy's, Nordstrom, and Belk. I'm assuming that all the palettes run around the same price range, so it will be the same price range as some of the other Naked palettes. Now, if you're a collector of these Naked palettes, which I think I am, I'm pretty sure I have every single Naked palette. 1, the original, 2, 3, Smoky, Heat. I know I'm missing some. I'm just like not naming them off the top of my head. The Reloaded. I have several here to kind of compare. So I have the Naked Heat, I have the original Naked, and I have the Naked 3, and then the Reloaded, the newest one that they just launched, to compare to the Honey. So first of all, let me just say, I love the shades in this palette. I think that this one is going to definitely be one that I use a lot. It does remind me of the good parts that I loved about the Naked 1 palette original. And what I'll say is it has the more yellow toned sort of golden shades. It has these matte shades. It has several matte shades actually. It has Swarm, Keeper, Hive, Drip, Sting, and then Sweet over here. So it has plenty of really nice matte shades, some transition, and then these more deepening up the outer corner, which the Naked original actually looks cooler, like much cooler tone in comparison when I'm looking at them side by side. But what I really appreciate is it has some similarities, like this shade Queen is very similar to the shade Smog in the palette. Queen has a little bit more golden sparkle to it, and Smog has like the yellow golden sparkle in this one, and Smog has a little bit more just like golden sparkle. I used to think Half Baked right here in this palette was so yellow toned, and now when I'm looking at it next to these two golden shades in here, the golden and the honey, I'm like, this one is like not even shimmery at all. But I remember thinking like, oh my gosh, that is so yellow. So this one really makes this one look more like a cool tone palette, which I would say this is not the cool tone of them. But I want to compare it again, just like this is just looking wise. I will swatch. Let's just do a comparison. This is the Reloaded. As you can see, the Reloaded looks like it has the best of a lot of different palettes. I would call it like a comprehensive one. It has some more peachy shades. It has some more cooler tone shades. It has Bucked, and it has some shimmer shades. I would call this one like the best of all worlds of the Naked palettes. But again, this is like super warm, so I thought let's compare it to the Naked Heat. Great, they're starting up to mow the lawn at the house next to me. Awesome. So here is this compared to Naked Heat. Now Naked Heat looks so much more orange, and this one just looks warm, like yellowy, mustardy in comparison to each other. So as you can see, it really is a different palette. Even though when I first saw it, I was like, oh, this is just like everything else. It's really not. And then the last comparison I wanted to show you was it compared to the Naked 3. So this is it compared to the Naked 3, which this is way more mauve tone, as you can see. So really this does have its place in the Naked family, if you ask me, when it comes to Naked palettes. So I just wanted to sort of go over and swatch the shades for you. So I just want to go over and swatch the shades for you so you can really see the colors. I personally think that this palette's going to be very used by me. I loved the way that the colors sort of all blended, like almost like a sunset on my eyes. There's a lot of colors that I would reach for in this palette that aren't in the other palettes, if that makes sense, that I think that this is a really good addition to the family. So if I were purchasing the palette, like if I were a paying customer, would I buy this palette on my own? I absolutely would. This would be something that if they did not send it to me, I would find that I wanted. Now, I know there are so many palettes. I'm just comparing these to the Naked palettes. If you have a palette, I'm sure you have these colors somewhere. So I'm really just comparing these to the Naked palette. So really just take a look in your collection. It's more so if you like Urban Decay, if you like the Naked palettes, this would be a good purchase because I do think it has a place. But if you have a ton of these colors in your other palettes, obviously you can make the decision whether it's worth it to you or not. So let me just show you guys the swatches of this up close, and then we'll flip forward to the tutorial at the end and we can go from there. Okay, first we have this shade right here, which is like a shimmer shade, and then we have a nice matte, and then this one, and then this really pretty shimmer shade here. This one is in my look today. Here are those shades right there. I really liked how brightening this one was. This is just like a nice transition. This is like, can deepen it up, and I love this amber color all over the lid. It's just so beautiful. Okay, we're gonna go into these next 4 shades right here. I would say these 4 shades are some of my favorites in the palette. This is a really pretty transition color. These 2 golden shades are gorgeous. And then this is the color that I feel like I chase in every palette, like that really, really beautiful golden bronze shade. Okay, we have the last 4 colors. We have 2 mattes, or 3 mattes in here, and then 1 shimmer shade. So here we go. And all of these performed really, really well on the eyes. I used this one and some of these right here. Didn't use that one, but look how beautiful that is. And there are the last 4 shades, some really nice matte warm shades, this really pretty lid shade. And then to deepen and darken everything up, you have this last color in Sting, which I like because it has a little bit of like a burgundy hint to it. Okay, so now I'm going to go on into this look, so stay tuned, keep watching, and here we go. Okay, so I'm starting with the shade Swarm, which is a really nice, neutral, everyday shade, easy to sort of buff in the crease. So I'm buffing this sort of in the crease and then all over my lid. I'm following up with this shade Keeper, and I'm putting Keeper all the way in on top of the shade Swarm. This has a little bit more mustardy to it. It's a little warmer than the Swarm shade. So we're just going to go ahead and put that, and then the next shade we're going to use to deepen out the outer corner is the shade Sting. Now this is like a matte sort of, it's a deep dark brown shade, but it has a little bit of, I would say, some burgundy to it. So I'm just going to use this and deepen out the outer corner with like little circular motions. I'm going to try and keep it more concentrated on the outer corner. Then we're going in with the shade Amber, and I'm packing this all over the lid. This is a really beautiful sort of, I would say bronzy, but like antiqued copper shade. That shade packs so beautifully all over the lid. Then I'm going in with the shade Honey, which is like this yellow gold, and I'm just kind of tapping it right in the center of my lid. Sort of, it's going to be on either side, sandwiched in between that amber shade. I love this color. It's a super bright, like honey yellow golden color. Now I'm using this Makeup Forever pencil. I think it's an all around white. And then now I'm going for my lower lash line. I'm using the shade Keeper, and then I'm going to layer on top of that the shade Amber. So it's just some of the shades that we used on our lid. I'm going to use Amber right under that and sort of blow that out. And then in the center, I'm going to use the shade Honey.
And then we're going to go in with this shade Queen, which is one of my favorite shades in this palette. I love it. It's like this bronze shade. I'm putting that to deepen up the lower lash line, more on the outer corners. I did go in with the shade Sting at the end on my lower lash line. Okay, so you see me using Flyby, which is like this shimmery, brightening shade, and then I'm putting on a little bit of liquid liner, and then the look is complete. I did mascara and put on my lipstick, which I'll link down below. That's it.
Okay everyone, that finishes up the look. I ended up putting a little bit of some of the Sting color on a tight brush right under my lash line, just because I felt like it needed a little bit more depth up close. I really like this look, and like I said in the video, I think that this palette is a great addition. So hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing it on the eyes. I will do a few more looks with it just because this is some really pretty like bronzy colors. It's really right up my alley when I'm reaching for a palette these days. These are the kind of shades that I am reaching for. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and seeing swatches. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you all in the next video. Mwah.